Hello YouTube, and hello to all you pipers out there. Today I would like to discuss with you an experience that I've made with Kentucky blends. You see, 10 years back when I was a beginner, I started with aromatic tobaccos, and I do appreciate them today as well. But after a while I have extended my palette and started with Virginia, and so I had bright Virginia, darker Virginia's mixes, and then I had Virginia Burley mixes. However, I always avoided to have any Kentucky because I always considered it to be too strong for me. And so the topic of today's video is, yes, the spirit of Kentucky and a tobacco blend that has taught me a lesson. And it's this one here. That is the Auenland Broken Flake. And this contains Virginia, a little Burley, and a pinch of Kentucky. However, it is not really important which particular blend it is. It could be any, as long as there is some Kentucky in it. So it could also be the HU White Horses containing some Kentucky. Yes, so I thought, oh, that is too strong for me. No, I better not touch that. And then, I think it was 2 years ago, it was a coincidence that I tasted and tested this tobacco, and I found it quite nice and pleasurable. And I thought, yeah, that adds something to the mix which I haven't tasted before. And that was quite astonishing for me. And then I started to experiment with it. And I said, yeah, in small and mid-sized doses, it really adds something to the mix and gives me an additional pleasure as a pipe smoker. So we're gonna give this one a try. And let's look at the pipe in which I smoked this one today. That's a shape that I really do love. Today I have here a Savinelli Eleganza. Yeah, you can see it in the good in the light. The Savinelli Eleganza. It is the 315 KS, so that's a nice little Prince shape, and the stem is blue, so you can't see it that good on camera, but I can show you it's blue. Yeah, and as always, I've put some tobacco in the bowl already and took a few puffs, and yeah, I just light it or relight it. Again with my phone lighter. So found tobacco, phone lighter, and a Savinelli pipe. Oh, that's really a nice match. Nevertheless, let's go. Yes, today with some coffee. And yeah, Virginia Burley I knew before, and this is some, here we've got Kentucky also added as a small pinch of it. However, I really taste the difference. But for me it's really hard to describe. I can only say, well, it's nice, it tastes good. But I hardly find the appropriate words for it really to describe it. Maybe it's appropriate to say, yes, some spiciness, probably some more earthiness in addition. That's really lovely. And yeah, comparing it to the HU, here is a lot more Kentucky in it, and also some cigar leaf. So I experimented with it, and well, I got used to it and really learned to enjoy that. By the way, the first time that I tried it, I did it mindfully, of course. So I have eaten something before, so to avoid any trouble with too much nicotine. And then it really gave me some additional flavor, not flavor, pleasure. And from that moment, my palate extended once again. Yeah, and why not? So if there is really a good tobacco blend, it's not that much a bravery test to try it. I'm sensitive towards tobacco, so I do it mindfully, of course. But what could I say? Don't be afraid to try something new, as long as you do it carefully. Yeah, and probably if you get an example from a fellow piper, there's not that much a risk to buy 100 grams of a tobacco or even 50 grams of a tobacco that you don't like. That would be a waste of money, of course. Yeah, and the Savinelli Eleganza, a smaller bowl, just the right size for this type of tobacco blend. I take wider bowls, bigger bowls for aromatics, that they can unfold the taste and the flavors. But here for natural tobacco, smaller bowl does the job very well. Again, I'm quite happy that I tried it, that I dared to do it, make the experience, yeah, and extended my palate. I'm still on the journey with Latakia. That is the only tobacco that I'm still very careful with, but I'm on the way with it. You see, there is just a difference in perception. You see, there are fellow pipers who say, yeah, try this one. It's just a small amount of Latakia in it. And what they call a small amount is far too much for me. And when I say, okay, this one has a little Latakia, my fellow pipers say, I can hardly detect it. Yeah, you see, that's really a difficulty that we encounter when we talk about tobacco, because each of us has different perceptions. So when I compare myself to fellow pipers, it seems to be that I'm more a natural detector of tiny amount of Latakia. What can we do? But I'm on the way. Tried a few things. Well, get the temper. Yeah. So conclusion, yeah, Kentucky is now part of my palate, and I don't regret it. And for today, it's not all. I've got one more thing for you after a little sip of coffee. It's time for poetry again. So I would like to read something to you. It's a self-written poem. It's called Piper's Joy. And I just tell you a little background story about it. I wrote it originally in German and with natural intelligence, so I didn't use any AI tools to make it. And it just expressed what I wanted to tell in German. However, I had I wanted to have an English version as well, but I did not translate it. I did not translate it because it's not possible really to transport the message that you want to give. So I did something else. I wrote it in English from scratch myself. And that is something that I would like to read to you today about the Piper's Joy. If you're interested in the German version, stay for a moment and I read it to you afterwards. And if you understand both languages, you're gonna see the differences. So let's go. Piper's Joy. The pipe is not about instant allure. It's a journey of slowness, that's for sure. That's why the connoisseur of our days escapes the trouble of hectic pace. In a silent realm he stays calm and free, or sits meditating under an apple tree. With every sip peace is filling up his chest, and at the end his mind is refreshed. Yeah, true. The last two lines are not rhyming, but who cares? I'm a hobby poet. But if you can help me with the last rhyme, write it in the comments. So the last two lines is, with every sip, peace is filling up his chest, and at the end his mind is refreshed. I didn't find a proper rhyme for it. So that's the English version. I really love to do that. And now the German version. Pfeifenglück. Die schnelle Dosis, der rasche Kick, darin besteht nicht das Pfeifenglück. Vielmehr ist es ein Ritual der Langsamkeit. Drum sucht sich der Genießer von heut einen ruhigen und besinnlichen Raum. Oder ein Fleckchen unterm Baum. Dort wagt er in Gedanken ein Experiment. Oder lebt ganz und gar in diesem Moment. Der Lärm der Welt und das hektische Treiben müssen indessen draußen bleiben. Yeah, so much for the piper's joy or the Pfeifenglück. I really love to do it, and yeah, it is done still with a good old-fashioned natural intelligence. And yeah, that's just what I wanted to share with you today. So I had some surprising experience with Kentucky blend, and yeah, I enjoy every now and then to write a poem. So much for today, and I'd just like to thank you for liking and subscribing, that you sit with me and spend some time with me. And then again, I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.